Hello yogis, and welcome back to session 3 of your beginner program. Today's session we will be building on the movements that we worked on in the last session and introducing some new postures too. So we'll get started straight away. Come down onto your mat and just lay down for a moment. Bringing the hands either by the side, or maybe you want to connect to the breathing, taking the left hand on the heart and the right hand on the stomach. Take a moment to just notice the points where your body meets the ground. Taking a moment to just arrive into your space. Relaxing the shoulders. Noticing how the breath feels through the nose as you inhale and through the nose as you exhale. And let's start to lengthen out through those inhales and exhales. So taking a full deep breath in through the nose and a full exhale through the nose. And then start to inhale for 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then just allowing the breath to return again to its natural rhythm. Taking a moment just to clear the mind. And then to set yourself an intention for today's session. And then taking again a nice full deep breath in through the nose. And a full exhale through the nose. And then gently just fluttering the eyes open. Let's bring the right knee up. Hug the right knee in towards the chest. Flexing the toes. Relaxing the shoulders. Bring the knee towards the right hand side and in towards the right armpit, releasing the left hand towards the left hip, relaxing the shoulders. And then switching sides, taking the left knee up, extending the right leg out long, flexing the toes, a nice full deep breath in. Maybe pulling the knee in a bit closer as you exhale. And bringing the knee towards the left hand side, releasing the right hand towards the right hip. And then bringing it through center, bringing both knees up, hugging both knees in. And then we'll start with your core work. So lifting the feet up towards the ceiling. Take the hands by the sides. Think about pushing that middle back into the mat. And then we'll start with the right leg. So inhale, bring the right heel towards the ground. And exhale to lift it up. Inhale, let's bring the left heel down. Exhale to lift it up. Again with the right side. Inhale. Exhale to lift. And again with the left side. Exhale to lift, keeping the feet lifted. We're going to move both heels to the ground. Remember, if you need to keep the bend in the knees, then keep the bend in the knees. Slowly lowering down, engaging the core. As you inhale, maybe just hovering the heels over the mat or to as low as you can get them. And then exhale, start to lift the feet up. And again, inhale to bring it down. Exhale to lift it up. And one more time, inhale to bring it down, hovering the heels, pushing the middle back into the mat. Exhale, lifting up. Let's take a little break and just bring the knees in towards the chest for a moment. And then we'll lift the feet all the way up, flexing the toes. Reach the hands up towards the toes. Keep the shoulders against the ground as you inhale. And then exhale, reach up, take a crunch and lift up towards the toes. As you inhale, just bring the shoulders back towards the ground. Exhale, take that crunch again, lifting up towards the toes, reaching. Let's do one more. Inhale to bring it down, shoulders against the ground. Exhale, reaching up, lifting up towards the toes. And then releasing, hugging the knees in towards the chest. And then finding your way up to seated. Okay, into those lateral stretches. So session 3 now, you'll be getting used to the different movements. So you're going to take the right hand out to the side, reach the left hand up, create space, start to bend into the elbow, keep the sit bone grounded on the left side, reach all the way up and over, trying to get that left arm nice and straight. Notice if you're bringing it forwards and keep thinking about bringing it back. You're going to take a twist from here, so you're going to bring it back up. You're going to take the left hand behind the back and then take the right hand over onto your left knee. You're going to lengthen through the spine and then turn to twist and gaze over the left shoulder. So the hand that's behind you wants to be quite close to your back. You can be up on the fingertips, find space, create length in the spine and just holding it here in that twist. And then we'll bring it back through center. Whichever foot is on top or in front, just swap it over. And then we'll go with a lateral stretch on the other side. So take the left hand out to the side, bring the right hand up, palm of the hand's going to face down towards the ground as you bring it over now towards the other side. Again, trying to reach through the fingertips, pulling back through that right shoulder, grounding down through the right sit bone. Take a couple of breaths here. So really filling the lungs with as much air as you can. That's going to really help expand through the rib cage. Stretch everything out. And then slowly just bringing it again back up onto that left hand. So you can take the right hand behind your back. Left hand comes over onto your right knee. Lengthen the spine, keeping the knees still relaxed towards the ground and turn to twist and gaze over that right shoulder. Taking a couple of breaths, inhaling, creating space, finding length. Exhales to twist. And then we'll slowly release and take it all the way over into tabletop. So, into all fours, spreading the fingers nice and wide, stacking the knees underneath the hips. But this time, rather than keeping the hands forwards, you're going to turn the fingertips in towards your body. So bring the hands round to as far as your flexibility will allow you to go here. So we're stretching out through the forearms a little bit here. And then we're going to inhale, bring the chest forwards and lift up. Take the shoulders away from the ears, and then as you exhale, rounding, taking the chin in towards the chest, like that Halloween cat. And again, inhale to bring it forwards, looking up, shoulders away from the ears. On the exhale, rounding, taking the chin in towards the chest. And we'll just take one more of those to inhale and bring it forwards. And then exhaling, rounding, chin in towards the chest. Okay, from there, just bring it back through neutral position. Flip the grip so you've got the hands facing back in the way that you would expect them to be. And then we'll just do one more round of cat-cow with the fingers facing this way. So again, just inhaling to pull the chest forwards, and then exhaling, chin in towards the chest. Okay, from there, just bring it back through neutral position, and then we'll tuck the toes, lift the hips, and find our way into that first downward facing dog. Pedaling it out, bending through the knees, softening through the hamstrings. And then slowly just bring the knees back down to the ground. And we're going to take the knees about mat width apart. So nice and wide. Take the big toes together so that they touch. Sit all the way back as far as your body will allow you to go towards the heels. And then allow the hands to reach as far forward as you can. Reaching through the fingertips, and then just relax your forehead down onto the mat. So we're really trying to lengthen out through the spine here. So at the same time, you can actually push a little bit into the palms of the hands so that the hips come a little bit further back towards the heels. And in this child's pose, you can always come into this posture if anything feels like it's too much, whether it's in this class and you don't want to just pause the video, maybe you want to just come down into a child's pose. Okay, slowly release. Let's find our way back again into a downward facing dog. So just tucking the toes, lifting the hips. And then we'll walk the feet forwards all the way to the top of the mat. And take your forward fold here in ragdoll. So just separate the feet a little bit wider than you'd probably have them in a forward fold. A nice deep bend in the knees. Grab hold of opposite elbows. Allow everything just to be heavy. Maybe gently swaying from side to side. And then we'll release the hands all the way down to the ground, and let's roll the spine all the way up to standing. Let's take those nice big shoulder rolls. And in the other direction. And then just take the feet underneath the hips. Bring the hands into heart center. Inhale, reach the hands all the way up overhead. Exhale, fold it forwards. Take the hands next to the feet. Bring the forehead down towards the shins. Inhale, find a halfway lift. Lengthen up through the spine. And then plant the hands down and step back through into a high plank. Let's hold our high plank for a couple of breaths. So squeezing the glutes, pushing the ground away with the hands. And then let's take the knees to the ground, untuck the toes, bending the elbows to bring the chest towards the ground, and then bringing the elbows underneath the shoulders. Hold in here for a couple of breaths, lifting the chin, thinking about pulling the mat in towards the body. And then gently releasing, chest back to the ground, hands under the shoulders, tuck the toes, lift the hips, downward facing. We'll lift the right foot all the way up. Stay strong through all 3 points on the ground. Bend into the right knee. Take those big circles with the right knee. And then going in the other direction. And then just bringing that right foot down, switch over, left foot lifts. Bend in the left knee, drawing some big circles with the left knee. Going in the other direction. Bringing the left foot down. Let's walk the feet again all the way forwards to the top of the mat. Take the hands next to the feet, bend into the knees as much as you need to get the stomach against the thighs and relax the forehead towards the shins. And gently release. Come all the way up to standing, reaching the hands all the way up. And then taking the hands into heart center. Inhale, reach the hands up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step back, high plank. Take the knees towards the ground, untuck the toes, take the chest towards the mat. Options to take it into that Sphinx with the elbows under the shoulders, or to start to bring the hands back slightly to find that baby cobra. Okay, taking the chest back to the ground, hands under the shoulders, tuck the toes, lift the hips, downward facing. Right foot lifts all the way up. Step the right foot forwards, in between the hands. Find your low lunge, drop the left knee down, top of the left foot. Reaching up with the hands, squaring out the hips. So again, thinking about pulling the right hip back, pushing the left hip forwards. And then from here, we're just going to bring the right hand down so it just dangles by the right hip. And the left hand's going to come up and over past the left ear. So just so you can see from this direction, the right hand just dangles towards the ground, but you don't want to compress as if you're trying to reach the ground. Reach up with your left hand and bring it over towards the side so you've got that stretch through the left lateral side of your body. Hold it here. And then from there, just gently release. Take the left hand to the ground. Let's find that twist. Bring the right hand up. Take the gaze up towards the right hand. And then let's draw some big circles with the right arm. And then from there, just frame the right foot. So take the hands either side of the right foot. You're going to tuck the left toes underneath. And then you're going to sit all the way back towards that left heel. So just as we did in the last session, make sure all the toes are tucked underneath. And if this is too much for you, then just flip the foot over and just sit onto the top of it instead. So the heel will probably drag back a little bit from where it was to enable you to sit back towards the heel. You're going to create a little bit of space, lengthen the spine, and then fold over this right leg. So again, just bring yourself to wherever your body is going to allow you to go. We're only going to stay here for another 2 breaths. And then you're going to release by lunging it forwards, untucking the back toes, giving them a little wiggle or just pushing it down onto the top of the mat. Frame the right foot again and then bring it back. Tuck the left toes underneath, lift the left knee and back into your downward facing dog. Let's hold this down dog for 3 breaths, spreading the fingers nice and wide. Thinking about pushing more through the index finger and the thumb. Maybe keeping a slight bend in the knees. And then let's lift the left foot up. And then we'll step the left foot forwards in between the hands. Bring the right knee down. Find your low lunge on this side. Reach up with the hands. And then we'll take the left hand down, allow it to dangle by the left hip. Reach up with the right hand and take the right hand up and over towards the left hand side. So again, not trying to reach down with the left hand towards the ground, but trying to lift up and lengthen through the right side of the body and bringing it over. Then we'll gently release. Let's take it back into a low lunge for a moment and then just take the right hand towards the ground. Keeping the left hand lifted and taking it into that twist, gazing up towards the left fingertips. And then bringing the left hand down, so you're just framing the left foot, tuck the right toes underneath and then sit all the way back towards that right heel. Again, the left heel might drag back a little bit. Make sure the right little toes are all tucked underneath. Lengthen the spine, create a little bit of space, and then fold over that left leg. We're only going to stay here for 2 more breaths. I know these toe stretches can be quite intense. So lunge it back forwards, untuck the back toe for a moment so you can just push it into the top of the mat to release it. And then frame the foot, tuck the right toes, lift the right knee, step it back for downward facing dog. And then we'll walk the feet all the way forwards to the top of the mat. Bend into the knees slightly and fold forwards. And gently release. Inhale to bring it all the way up to standing. And exhale, take the hands into heart center. Inhale, reach the hands up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, find a halfway lift, lengthen up through the spine. Exhale, plant the hands, step back, high plank. Engaging everything in your body, so not allowing the hips to come down to the ground first, just the knees, untucking the toes, strong through the arms, and then finding your way into that back bend, sliding the elbows forwards, or into that little baby cobra. Bring the chest back down, hands under the shoulders, tuck the toes, lift the hips, downward facing. We're going to take the right foot, lift it all the way up, and then we're going to step it in between the hands. So we're going to come into that high lunge, so find your stability and your balance. Remember the cues from the first session about walking on a tightrope or on train tracks, and adjust as you feel necessary. Keep that deep bend in the right knee, strong through the left leg. Pull the left heel away from the ground, send the thumbs back. Okay, from here, don't move your legs, you're just going to move your upper body and take the stomach towards the thigh and reach the hands forward, so you're really loading onto that front leg, and then bring it back again. Going to just do 2 more of these. So hinging at the hips, reach the hands forward, stomach to thigh connection. Bring it all the way back up, and then 1 more time, stomach towards the thigh. Bringing it all the way back up, and then bringing the left knee to the ground. Untucking the back toes. We're going to take it into a twist here. So you're going to take your right hand back and bring the left hand forwards. Turn and take the gaze to come back over the right fingers. Take a couple of breaths. And then take the left hand down onto the ground. Find your twist, reach up with the hand. And then take the right hand down. And then tuck the left toes, lift the left knee and step it back into a downward facing dog. Left side, left foot lifts up. Inhale. Exhale, step it forwards. Frame the foot, find your stability, come up for high lunge. Hold it here, send the thumbs back, squeeze the glutes. Let's load the front leg, stomach towards the thigh, reach it forwards. Inhale, come back up, high lunge. Exhale, stomach to thigh connection, hinge at the hips. Inhale, lift it up last time. Exhale, stomach to thigh connection. Bring it all the way back up. Slowly, softly lower the right knee to the ground. Untuck the back toes and we'll come into your twist on this side. So left hand reaches back this time, right hand reaches forward. Turn to gaze over the left hand. Hold here. And then take the right hand towards the ground. Reach the left hand up, turn and take the gaze up towards the left fingers. And then bring the left hand to frame the left foot. Tuck the right toes, lift the right knee, step it back, downward facing. Walk the feet forwards. Hands next to the feet, fold forwards over the legs. Relax the head, relax the neck. One more breath in. One more full exhale. And then release, come up to standing, rising all the way up, reach the hands up and hands into heart center. We'll just flow through one more time. Inhale to reach the hands up. Exhale to fold it forwards. Inhale, find a halfway lift. Exhale, step back, high plank. engaging the core, squeezing the glutes, just bringing the knees towards the ground, so really challenging yourself so nothing in the upper body moves, untucking the toes, bringing the chest towards the ground, and then coming into your back bend, bringing the chest down, tucking the toes, lifting the hips, downward facing. Taking the right foot, lifting it all the way up, and then stepping it forwards in between the hands. Find your high lunge. And then from here, we're going to find our high lunge twist. So the same as we did in our low lunge, the right arm's going to come back, left hand's going to come forward, and the only thing that's changing here really is the back knee. So if it's too much, just bring the knee down onto the ground, otherwise holding here. For 3, 2, take the left hand onto the ground into your twist. Again, keeping the back knee lifted, but if it's too much, you can drop it down onto the ground. Strong through the back leg. And then bring the right hand down next to the right foot and step it into a downward facing dog. From here, we're going to come into that wide leg child's pose. So take the knees all the way onto the mat. Take them nice and wide, the big toes together to touch. Sit all the way back towards the heels. Reach the hands forwards, relax the forehead towards the ground. Maybe pushing into the palms of the hands to sit the sit bones back towards the heels. Trying to get the armpits towards the mat. And then bringing it back forwards and finding your way back again into your downward facing dog. Okay, left foot lifts up. Inhale. Exhale, step it forwards in between the hands. Find your stability. Find your way up into your high lunge. Send the thumbs back strong through the legs. And take your twist. Left hand back, right hand forwards. Notice if you're starting to lean really far forwards into this, and try and keep your shoulders still stacked above the hips. Notice if this left arm's really high up as well, and try and roll the shoulder down the back. Turn to gaze over the left hand. And then we'll take the right hand onto the ground. Bring the left hand up. Modifications, remember you can always just bring the back knee down onto the mat. Gaze up towards the left hand. Strong through the back leg, strong through the right arm. One more breath in. And exhale, take the left hand down and step back into your downward facing dog. From here, we're going to come down into a tabletop. So stack yourself again into this position where you're stacking the shoulders over the wrists. Last little bit of hard work just before some seated stretches. So keep the toes tucked underneath. Hover the knees just over the mat. And then push the hips back into a downward facing dog. So again, bring it forwards, but hover the knees just over the mat, stacking the shoulders over the wrists. So you're in this turbo tabletop. And then push the hips back and up towards the ceiling. We're just going to do one more. Bring the knees, hover them just over the mat. And then push it back into a downward facing dog. And then take the knees all the way down onto the ground. And from here, we're just going to come into some nice seated stretches. So extend the right foot all the way out towards the side. Bring the left foot in. So you've got this left knee bent, and then the right leg's straight out towards the side. So you're on the long side edge of your mat. Take your right hand and bring it on the inside of your right leg. So whether that's just inside of the thigh or the knee, or maybe it does reach all the way down to the ankle, wherever you're at, bring the left hand up. We're taking this lateral stretch to bring the left hand up and over past the left ear. And then again, just as we did in our seated stretches here at the start of the session, you want to still be thinking about Not leaning forwards with this left arm, but opening through the chest, pulling back, reaching through the fingertips, grounding down through this left sit bone, grounding down through both sit bones, flexing the toes, and hold. 3 breaths. And then from here, just bring it all the way back up and just switch over now. So we'll take the right foot in, left foot out long, push the left heel away. Again, left hand can come inside of this left leg and you're going to reach up and over with the right arm. Pulling back through the right shoulder. Taking a few more breaths. And then gently releasing. From here we're going to take it into a wide leg forward fold. So you may want to prop yourself up onto a block or onto a cushion, especially if you feel like you have quite a rounded spine when you try to reach forwards and that you're struggling here with the flexibility, maybe because of the inner thighs. But if you prop yourself up onto a block, what that should give you is that pelvic rotation. So when you sit up on the block, if you do need it, and sometimes even if you don't feel like you need the block, it can give you an extra stretch anyway, so it can be quite nice sometimes to use these props. So you're pushing the heels away. That will just help you then to be able to fold forwards without having a rounded back and feeling like you can't come into the stretch. Okay, so feet out nice and wide. Push the heels away from your body, flex the toes, and then fold it forwards. Maybe you reach through the fingertips. Maybe you've got a little bit of extra flexibility here and you can bring the elbows to the ground. Wherever you're at, just relax the head, relax the neck. Keep the feet flexed, keep pushing the heels away from the body. Just try and relax now into your shoulders. Whenever you find a little bit more space, as if you can fold into it, maybe a little bit deeper, just walk the hands a tiny bit further forwards, or maybe just bend a little bit into the elbows. Stay here for another 6 breaths, and just relax the feet now, so not worrying about pushing the heels away. And then just walking the hands all the way back up. And then just turning to face over that right leg. Just walk the hands over the right leg. Just take a little stretch on that side. And then just switch it over and walk the hands over the left leg and just fold in over the left side. And then walk the hands all the way back up and just bring the legs in now and cross the legs over. If you do want to lay down and come into your Shavasana now, please feel free to take a Shavasana. Otherwise, come into a seated position and just take the hands up into heart center. Bowing the head down towards the heart. Just take a moment to bring that focus and that awareness back to the breath. Taking the focus back to the intention that you set. Maybe trying to find a way to take that outside of your practice. Taking a full deep breath in through the nose and a full exhale through the nose. And just gently fluttering the eyes open. Just want to thank you for sharing your practice with me today. So that concludes session 3. The next session you'll be moving on to will be session 4. Keep sticking with it. The more you do the practices, even if you double up and do some, so if you do session 1 more than once, session 2 more than once, you will become more familiar with the postures, and you will start to feel a little bit more flexibility, looseness. But just remember, just like learning another language, don't expect to know everything straight away, so just enjoy the process. Thank you again for joining me today, and I will see you next time for session 4.